Okay guys, I'm just going to give you a brief little disclaimer about how we're going to be doing this content. It's going to be a bunch of information sandwiched into one video. Once the video hits a specific duration, then I'm going to sandwich more information in one video, and that way I can get you guys as much videos as possible without getting the YouTube algorithm mad at me for spamming these uploads to you guys. So do me a favor and smack the like button for the YouTube algorithm so you could tell YouTube that you want these news updates to be the first thing you see on your page and to support me as a creator, and consider subscribing and turning on our notifications. Of course, we're going to be giving away a copy of NBA 2K21. We're giving away 5 copies on any console of your choice to any follower that follows me on Twitter and Instagram. Now that we get all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? The very first piece of information I want to get to you guys is in regards to John Collins. The Atlanta Hawks and John Collins are still working things out in regards to a contract extension for him. They can't really agree on a price, but the good news for John Collins is that, one, if he is to go and sign a huge contract with any other team, the Atlanta Hawks would kind of be forced to match that, so he pretty much has the leverage in this situation. And I'm also sure the Atlanta Hawks would want to sign their promising rising forward and not let him go to a different team, especially after they've had one of their most successful seasons in about, 4 years. The next piece of information I want to give you guys is Tim Hardaway Jr., probably my favorite bag getter in the entire NBA, is re-signing with the Dallas Mavericks on a 4-year, $72 million contract. The Dallas Mavericks did not want to waste any time whatsoever pursuing Kawhi Leonard because they felt like there was a good chance that Kawhi Leonard may sign with the Los Angeles Clippers, even though he said that he is going to be taking appointments and meetings with other teams. He is most likely to sign with the Los Angeles Clippers, and they didn't want to waste any time with that. Furthermore, the Denver Nuggets and Will Barton agreed to a 2-year, $32 million contract extension. Now, in addition to this, we just got word that Michael Conley is going to be signing with the Utah Jazz on a $68 million contract extension as well. Now, I'm going to be making a separate video on the Kyle Lowry trade because as we are waiting for details about that deal, I figured I'd get you a full video on the Lonzo Ball situation because we have a bit more information on that deal. So a little bit of a background for you guys so you could understand. Lonzo Ball is a restricted free agent. So if he was to sign an offer sheet with the Chicago Bulls outright, then theoretically speaking, the New Orleans Pelicans were able to match that offer sheet should they want to and retain Lonzo Ball services, something that I hypothesized that they were going to do as a backup plan in the event that they were not able to retain Kyle Lowry. But that's not what the New Orleans Pelicans elected to do. As a matter of fact, even though the New Orleans Pelicans struck out on Kyle Lowry, losing him to the Miami Heat, they elected to do a sign and trade with Lonzo Ball. So according to Champ Charania, the Chicago Bulls are sending Thomas Satoransky, Garrett Temple, and a second-round pick to the New Orleans Pelicans for Lonzo Ball, who will be signing a 4-year, $85 million contract. So, wow. For the Chicago Bulls, I could already hear Mike Korzemba turning up all the way in his lovely brand new home in New Jersey, and I could hear my buddy Get Like Coop, who's a diehard New Orleans Pelicans fan, sobbing as this is going down, because to be honest, I really don't know what the New Orleans Pelicans are doing here. With all due respect, I felt like Zion Williamson and Lonzo Ball built a sense of camaraderie with one another. There was no continuity whatsoever in terms of their head coach, and Lonzo Ball has shown tremendous improvement year after year. This man literally recreated his jump shot and is truly showing that he could develop into a good point guard in the NBA. And once they decided that they were not going to to trade him in the offseason during the trade deadline, I felt like they were going to most definitely retain him, especially when Zion Williamson gave him a glowing endorsement as a teammate. But once again, I was wrong. The Chicago Bulls are going to have a fantastic backcourt that is going to be composed of Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, and if you're a New Orleans Pelicans fan, I feel tremendous sympathy for you. I'm not here to bag on you. I'm not here to kick you down when you're already fairly low, because a couple of my friends are Pelicans fans, and I myself had to deal with multiple inept front offices, and I had to watch my favorite team squander good situations multiple times. I had to live through the Jim Buss era over the past decade as a Laker fan, and I had to see moves like paying Luol Deng a 4-year, $72 million contract, and Timofey Mozgov way more money than he deserved, and then eventually packaging D'Angelo Russell and Timofey Mozgov and trading him to the Brooklyn Nets as some sort of salary cap dump for a free agent that we never ended up getting. So I feel tremendous empathy for you guys, because I really felt like a couple of years ago when the Los Angeles Lakers and the New Orleans Pelicans had this agreement to trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers, and the Lakers ended up giving up so much capital in the future during years where the Lakers clearly weren't going to be good anymore. In addition to Brandon Ingram, who was starting to look like the best player in the top 3 of the 2016 NBA draft. In addition to Lonzo Ball, who, yeah, he didn't really get a chance, but he was developing quickly, and he did create a brand new jump shot when he was traded to the Pelicans, which is damn near impossible to do. In addition to Josh Hart, who is a remarkable role player, I felt like David Griffin knew what he was doing. I felt like Alvin Gentry could be the guy that coaches this team to success, and I felt like with Zion Williamson, the Pelicans were on the rise and on the up and up. But after seeing how the Pelicans have handled this offseason so far, I felt like they were all in on Kyle Lowry, and if they weren't all in on Kyle Lowry, they would at least bring back Lonzo Ball, because the Pelicans front office was clearly feeling pressure because Zion Williamson's family doesn't want Zion to apparently play in New Orleans anymore. And honestly, just based off of the language I am hearing from all the youth on the New Orleans Pelicans, the fact that Josh Hart wants out, the fact that Lonzo Ball doesn't mind leaving, I'm starting to actually buy into that sentiment. I'm actually starting to believe the fact that Zion Williamson may want to leave. This move is kind of like the equivalent of when Carlos Boozer left the Cleveland Cavaliers because the Utah Jazz wanted to pay him significantly more. Yes, I know if you're a Cavs fan, you will say that what Carlos Boozer did was very sleazy, opting out and then promising to re-sign, and then he got offered significantly more money from the Utah Jazz, and then he signed with them. But the fact that the Cleveland Cavaliers weren't willing to match that to bring him back was indicative of them saying that, hey, we are not willing to go as far as we can to build a contender around you. And then the fact that Zion Williamson is entering his 3rd season in the NBA with his 3rd head coach is further proof that the New Orleans Pelicans might not know what they are doing. And if they were to go out and say, hey, we got Kyle Lowry for you at the very least, yeah, I would still be here thinking it's a very weird move, paying a 35-year-old point guard something like $90 million so he could potentially lead you to a 5th seed at the very best. But losing Lonzo Ball, which is a guy that Zion Williamson really liked and advocated for, and just getting Thomas Satoransky, Garrett Temple, and a 2nd-round draft pick in return for him is absolutely unexcusable. You should have at least gotten Lauri Markkanen or Kobe White in return, because we all know Kobe White's probably going to be the 6th man of the Chicago Bulls right now. On the flip side, if you're a Chicago Bulls fan, I am so happy for you. I'm probably going to lose my wager to Mike Korzemba that we made on the Laced Up podcast because of this, because I bet that the Bulls wouldn't even make it to the playoffs this year, but I love Lonzo Ball. I think he's developing remarkably fast each and every year. I think he's getting better and better, and I think he genuinely loves basketball and has a tremendous basketball IQ, and this past year was his best leap to date. He fixed his jump shot. He's shown defensive versatility in the past. I think if he has some continuity at the head coaching position and also has an all-star guard as a backcourt mate. And hey, the Chicago Bulls have also been potentially linked to DeMar DeRozan. Hopefully this news doesn't become expired by then I really have high hopes for the Chicago Bulls this year. So if you're a Pelicans fan, let me know what you guys think, or you could reach out to me on Twitter and Instagram. We could discuss this as well. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.